Hello sir, we welcome you to our WBD project presentation. Our group member consists of Chaikuri Sridhvik, Devarkonda Bhimashankar, myself Dheeraj Kumar, Doppalpodi Madhukar and Banavar Theuraj. We named our website ProSpaces. Our problem statement is that we try to create a portal for students or any individual with an perfect idea who want to collaborate with other people to work or on an individual who have an ample amount of time and wants to work in team to get some experience. So coming to our project setup, we have used GraphQL for the server side and React JS for our front end implementation, and both are bridged by Apollo client and Apollo server. So as I said earlier, project setup, we have used Next.js. Next.js is a full end framework, so we can host both client as well as server on a single code base. And some interesting thing about Next.js is that we can have both the server as well as the client running on the same local host, such as localhost 3000. Coming to the server side implementation, we have used GraphQL just because that it overcomes the problem of underfetching and overfetching, and moreover it's a query language, so the front end development people will have a good time in fetching the results and displaying it in their UI rather than in the REST, where we have to either rest on the Swagger UI or particular or documentation of complete test routes. Coming to the server implementation, we have used GraphQL, and for that we have used Apollo server where we can do the GraphQL implementation easily. So for that we have implemented schema.graphql. In this schema.graphql we have all the queries and mutations, and we'll have resolvers. Let me show you the file. So as you can see, this is the schema.graphql file. In the schema.graphql file you have the type query. In this these are all the queries. So a query is similar to the read or the get from the REST API, as well as so we have post query, we have post query, we have single user query. And coming to mutations, mutations are similar to the create, update and delete in REST. So we have sign up mutation, login, create, post, apply to, post, update, post, delete, post mutations. And we have the type post where we have several fields, and we have the type user. Now coming to the GraphQL, since we have the schema.graphql or the queries and mutations, we need relevant resolvers, and for that resolvers are required only for the non-primitive types, non-primitive return types. So such as we need a resolver for sign up, we need a resolver for login. So some of the resolvers are listed over here, so we have all the resolvers here. Coming to the next part, so in the GraphQL client side we have used Apollo client for React project, and we have several hooks related to the Apollo client, such as use query, use mutation, cache. In this the important thing about cache is that it stores all the recent queries done using Apollo client or the use query or the use mutation hook, so that in future it can fastly load the results to the user rather than relying on a network call to the backend and get the data. Let me show you the client implementation, client setup. So as you can see, here is the client setup. This is the HTTP link, and the URI is that HTTP localhost 3000 API/GraphQL server. So every time we want to use or do a query, we hit this URI. And coming that, we have used auth link. The basic idea of using this auth link is that we do user state. So in this user state, we want to send a token to the server to do the authorization. So there will be if you want to post something from the user side, so we have to send the JWT token to the server so that it can recognize which user is sending the request, and basing on that it can post it in his thing. So this is how the client is set up. And from the client side, if you want to send the queries, so we have some queries already set up. So this is the get post query, where we use this in the use query hook, and we send it to the server so that we can fetch the results. Similarly, there is a get post query and login user query, register user query, user post query, and user details query, and create post query. Now coming to database, we have used MongoDB Atlas. So coming to MongoDB Atlas, it's a NoSQL database. So it stores all the objects in it's similar to form of JSON, and for that we have two collections in it. So let me show you that. So as you can see, there are the two collections. One is post and one is users. Coming to the ODM part, like we have used Mongoose, which is object document mapping. Used easy usage of queries to the MongoDB Atlas, and we can do it from our application, and without MongoDB to give the results. We can just use ODM like Mongoose so that it can do efficient queries to the models. This is our post model. So this is how we define a model in Mongoose, post schema rather than. These are several fields which we have, and similarly we have the user schema, as you can see. Now coming to for any application to connect with the database, we need a connect file. So this is how we set up our Mongoose connection, Mongoose and MongoDB connection from our application. And coming to the part of how we did the authorization or the authentication, we used JWT tokens to do that. So first, whenever user logins or sign up, we have a separate token to set up, and JWT.sign, and this is our payload token, and we sign it and we send it to the user. So what happens is that when the user takes in the token, and he stores it in his local storage, and then whenever he wants to make any request to the server, the user uses the local JWT token from the local storage and imports it into this header file and sends it to the server, so that it can get the token from the request.headers authorization, and then it can verify the user based on his token. This is our website. Let us sign up first. So let me have sign up. So as you can see, I am signed up right now. Now let's go to our post page. So as you can see, there are only 2 posts right now, and now we can use the most recent filter, that it shows who has done the recent post. These are some filters based on the team size. As you can see, 5 members or 7 members ascending. So let me post a new thing. Now let me post it. So posted, and now I'll be redirect back. As you can see, now my post is also present here. Now again, if I sort by, you can see the sorting has been done. The most recent will work, and even the search by will work. So suppose let us search for Python. So as you can see, this the only post which has requirement Python. This is how this is pretty much what we have done until now, and we'll try to include the chat as well in the further thing. Thank you very much.